Well, one of the best players in college baseball and best power hitters have landed in the Bay Area. MLB's number 34 overall prospect, Missouri State's Dakota Jordan, was selected number 116 overall by the San Francisco Giants on day 2 of the MLB Draft after leading the Bulldogs in home runs, RBIs, hits, and slugging percentage in 2024. And we now welcome in CBS Sports baseball analyst Chris Welsh as we look back at a busy day 2 in the MLB Draft. And I want to start things with Mississippi State's Dakota Jordan falling to the Giants at 116. Now, he's a kid who received a lot of national recognition this past year, including a second-team All-American selection and a Golden Spike semifinalist. But what kind of player are the Giants getting out of Jordan?
Well, they're getting a massively athletic player, a guy that put up big, hard hit numbers. He hits the ball really hard, 96 mile per hour average exit velocity, which is near the top end of the college hitters, a 115 max exit velocity. Again, the bats are a little bit stronger in college with the metal side, but that shows pure plus raw power. And when he does make the contact, it's a really great barrel percentage, which, again, that is quality of contact. Those are all really good things. Now, I think the big question would be, why was he available today? Why was Dakota Jordan here? And I think it would be some of the concerns with his strikeouts. He was actually 4th in all of Division I baseball in strikeouts, 84 strikeouts, and over 30% K percentage, which in college is massively concerning. He had a low 65% contact rate, and he struggles with elevated fastballs and hits too many ground balls. So I think what could have ended up happening is you just had organizations that didn't want to deal with it. You had organizations that were very fearful that they weren't going to be able to tap into the athleticism, and it took the right team that says, okay, we are going to take these hard hit numbers. We are going to be able to develop this kid. He shouldn't have been there. I don't think so, especially with, I think, some of the talent that might be missing from some of this draft. So I think it was a fantastic pick. He's a massively big athlete with huge upside.
Yeah, some of those concerns that you mentioned, especially considering he was ranked as MLB's number 34 overall prospect. But meanwhile, let's talk about the Royals. They landed a national champion ace with the number 76 overall pick in Tennessee right-hander Drew Beam. Now, Beam has been a big part of the Volunteers rotation and one of the top pitchers in the SEC. But Chris, how would you assess Beam's ceiling?
Yeah, and what I really like about this, too, is having these college, these guys that have put up major innings. These are the guys that might not take too long for them to develop and get to the majors. He's got a mid-90s fastball. It missed some college bats, and I think maybe some of the worry is going to be what it does at the major league level because of the movement as far as what that fastball does. He has a solid curveball, and his best pitch is just this diving changeup, which I'm a changeup guy. I think that can induce a lot of strikeouts. But here's the thing. I think at the end of the day, what he might use, and he throws a little bit of a cutter, is the development of a slider. And here's what's great. The Royals have done a really good job developing pitchers lately. Seth Lugo's having a phenomenal season. And the breakout of Cole Reagans was due to what? It was due to the changeup usage and the development of the changeup that he already had and hadn't really been being used that much. So I actually think this is a great organization for him to go to. They love taking college pitching. He's got the innings. I think he's got the wherewithal for it. I think this actually could be a really good sleeper pick when we look back at the draft in the near future.
Oh, nice. A nice landing spot for Beam out there in Kansas City. But Chris, on day 1 of the draft, you weren't really feeling the direction the Yankees or the Brewers went, passing on some really good players that were still on the board. Were they able to fix things in day 2? Give me your biggest winner from day 2 of the MLB Draft.
All right, well, I do think the Yankees, by the way, did fix it a little bit. They took this kid out of Vanderbilt, Cunningham, which was really good, but they didn't end up being the winner. I got 2 winners here for you, and probably no surprise, but the Guardians. And the Guardians' day 1 was phenomenal. Obviously, Travis Bazzana, they got Braylon Dowdy and Jacob Cosart were really great picks, but they started off day 2 with this kid named Joey Oki, who's got massive upside as a high school pitcher, mid-90s fastball, big slider, and he was top 50 on Pipeline's board. And then, this will be the really surprising one, they took in the 10th round this kid Chase Mobley, who was 80th on MLB Pipeline's board. So again, the 10th round, a top 100 player, high school pitcher with a 90s fastball, curve slider, split changeup, and probably dropped due to signability issues. So this obviously means, in the top 10 rounds when guys are taken, it usually means that they're going to throw the money at them. They're going to be signable. Top 5 rounds, it's almost a guarantee. So there's no guarantee here. But for them to get that type of value in the 10th round and what they had done overall, I thought the Guardians were really phenomenal. And just personally, the Pirates, a lot of the same stuff. They took Connor Griffin and White Sanford in the first day. They, on day 2, took this kid named Josh Hartle, who was a first-round talent in 2021, struck out 140 batters in 100 innings. And then they also took another guy from 2021 who was a first-round talent in Will Taylor out of Clemson, who, again, strong athletic outfielder plus speed. I think there's just a lot of upside in what the Pirates and the Guardians both did.
All right. Well, just like your thoughts about the Yankees, who you said did turn the page a little bit, and the Brewers from day 1, I want to do the same thing for day 2. Chris, give me your biggest, I hate calling it a loser, but somebody who maybe didn't meet your expectations from day 2 of the draft.
I know, Kiana, I come on here with you, and I'm always so positive. You love me for my positivity, so I got to be negative here. And we're going to, unfortunately, look at Chicago. The White Sox, obviously the first-round pick with Hagen Smith was, you got to like that pick. They had a lot of money to spend. But here's the problem. I just don't think they didn't do anything with it. You would have thought day 2 they would have had a shot and maybe played some massive upside, maybe an overpay or two. But all they did in day 2 was pick college players who were technically overrated based on pipeline ranks, if you want to look at that. So for an org that's looking to rebuild, it just didn't feel like they got any younger. They didn't play a lot of upside, and they didn't do anything with their money. And then kind of, low-hanging fruit here, the A's. The A's had a decent draft in the first round. They went college heavy, but like day 1, they could have gone with a lot of upside, and they didn't. They took 2 high school players in the 6th and 7th round, so I just didn't feel like they maximized a lot of the value. So the A's and White Sox, they ended up being losers in my mind.
2 teams that probably need to be winners, especially around this time. But also, I really quickly just got to notice, I really like what you got going on in the background. I see those San Francisco helmets back there. It makes me very happy. Yes. But I also see the Bobby Witt Jr. jersey in the corner. Home run derby going on tonight. Do you have Witt taking it?
Oh, man, what a horrible person I am. No, what? I don't have Bobby Witt. I feel so bad. I should have. Homeboy, Texas boy. He should got. He's one of my favorite players. I will tell you right now, Pete Alonso, Texas Stadium, second best ballpark factor for home runs, giving up the second most homers to right-handed hitters is Texas. So Pete Alonso knows what he's doing. I think this is a good bet. My sleeper, it's not Witt. It's Gunnar Henderson. They still have good ballpark factor for left-handed hitters. Lots of power, lots of good barreling. Give me Alonso, give me Gunnar, and I'm going to be ashamed if Bobby Witt does end up taking it.
I'm going to be so disappointed in you, and you're going to be the first person that I think of. But going for the vet and the young gun, it's going to be certainly fun to watch. And obviously, we're going to have that coverage here on CBS Sports HQ. Chris, we appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for the insight.
Thanks so much for having me.